There is a belief you carry, perhaps without knowing, that you are a rational creature, that your decisions belong to you, that your loves are chosen, that your fears are your own. This belief, Prince will say this clearly, is the most dangerous thing about you. Because the architects of influence have known for centuries what neuroscience only recently confirmed. The self is porous, and a porous self can be entered. Tonight, we will name the methods, we will trace their lineage, and in the final 2 minutes of this film, Prince will reveal what ancient strategists and modern psychologists alike have called the sovereign anchor, a single cognitive technique so structurally simple and yet so rarely practiced that its consistent application makes you functionally immune to the most sophisticated manipulation architectures ever devised. But first, you must understand the architecture itself. The first instrument, love bombing. It does not begin with violence. It never does. Love bombing is the psychological equivalent of flooding a room with oxygen before striking a match. The target is saturated with attention, with validation, with the intoxicating sensation of being chosen. The dopamine architecture in the human brain cannot distinguish between genuine devotion and engineered intensity. Both feel identical. What the manipulator understands, and the target does not, is that this saturation creates dependency before doubt can form. By the time the behavior shifts, the coldness, the withdrawal, the first cruelty, the emotional investment has already been made. The withdrawal becomes the punishment, and the return of warmth becomes the reward. This is not love. This is operant conditioning, wearing love's clothing. The second instrument, gaslighting. If love bombing is the flood, gaslighting is the drought that follows. The systematic erasure of a person's trust in their own perception. It is not merely lying. Ordinary deception can be exposed by evidence. Gaslighting dismantles the instrument used to evaluate evidence in the first place, the self. Repeated phrases like, "That never happened," "You're too sensitive," "You always do this." These do not simply rewrite memory. They install chronic self-doubt. The target begins outsourcing reality to the manipulator. The third instrument, the sunk cost siege. This exploits one of evolution's oldest cognitive weaknesses, the refusal to abandon what we have already invested in. The manipulator does not need to be the best option. They need only ensure the target has invested enough time, sacrifice, vulnerability, that leaving feels like self-destruction. The target does not feel trapped. They feel loyal. And that substitution is the exact moment the siege succeeds. History offers many architects of psychological warfare. Few rival Cardinal Richelieu. Richelieu governed not through force, but through the management of fear and desire. He made kings dependent. He destabilized courts through uncertainty. He made nobles complicit before they realized the cost. He did not cage people. He made them build the cage themselves. Shield 1. The pattern interrupt. When intensity arrives before trust has been earned through time, treat excess as data, not affection. Intensity is not proof of depth. Often, it is proof of urgency. And urgency is the manipulator's timetable, not yours. Shield 2. The reality ledger. Write down significant interactions, dates, words spoken, decisions made. Memory can be contested. Documentation cannot. Shield 3. The exit calculus. Do not ask, "How much have I already given?" Ask, "If I entered this situation today, knowing all I know now, would I still choose it?" If the answer is no, the sunk cost is not a reason to stay. It is only evidence of what you have already survived. Shield 4. The sovereign circle. Manipulation requires isolation. It cannot thrive where trusted outside perspectives exist. The people who knew you before the distortion began, those with no agenda, are structural defenses of your psychological sovereignty. Protect them. And now, the sovereign anchor. Every morning, before the world defines your day, spend 3 minutes answering one written question. What do I actually believe, and why, independent of what anyone else has told me to believe? That is the entire technique. Its power is structural. It recalibrates your internal center of gravity before outside influence gains momentum. The manipulator requires someone who does not know their own mind. A person who knows what they believe and why is not a soft target. They are not even a hard target. They are not a target at all. This is the oldest war, the battle for the sovereignty of the human mind. And the final question is not whether you can defend it. The question is whether, until tonight, you have been leaving the gate open and calling the intrusion intimacy.